Hi everyone, welcome to Excel School. This is going to be one of the very first videos that you will be watching when you start Excel School. And I actually made a mistake of not creating this video until almost recently. I'm recording this video on February 1st, 2011. So you can imagine how stupid I have been for not recording an introduction video like this. But I got this eye-opening because when I went to Maldives to conduct my first Excel workshop, international workshop, I always started, I gave them a plan saying that we will start with formulas and then go to formatting, conditional formatting, charting, pivot tables, those things. And then when I went to the class, my first class, I asked the students, can they introduce themselves and then just tell us what do they know about Excel so that I can, kind of know their areas of interest and then structure my workshop around that. And I was really surprised because many people also thought I was going to provide an overview because my original plan was not to have any overview, just jump into Excel and start write formulas. So I was kind of surprised because I was always thinking that maybe people know Excel and there is no need to explain what is a file and how things are structured and what are the various little things that you can do. So it was kind of an oversight from my side that I never really thought about adding the same thing to Excel School too. But now that I have this clarity and I know that people would like to see what is out there in Excel and learn what these ribbons are and all those things, I think it is appropriate that we have a similar session in Excel School too. So with that, I don't want to add any further introduction. I just wanted to get into this and I want to show you what is there in Excel. Okay, so what happens is when you start Excel, when you open Excel 2007 or 2010 or 2003, you will be greeted with a blank workbook. A blank workbook like this. There's nothing in this. It has maybe 3 sheets or 2 sheets or 1 sheet depending on what you want. So one of the very first things that I want to share with you is what are the areas, various screen things, the screen real estate that you are seeing in Excel. How is this divided? So I'm going to put some drawing effect here and then I can let me just choose. I think the color red will be much more dominant. So this area from the top all the way through that bar, that area is called as menu bar and ribbon. Okay, in earlier versions of Excel, being Excel 2003 or 2000 or Office XP, you would have seen that only this whole thing, the menu bar, was taking only like 10% of the screen space, up to that much. But what Microsoft people have done is they have added this ribbon concept with Office 2007 and they have been enhancing it all along. In 2010 also they have the ribbon and I don't think they will go back to the menus anymore. One of the beautiful advantages of ribbons is that ribbons will clearly tell you what everything is. For example, in a menu, we had to actually dig out and find where everything is. So if you want to format conditional formatting, you have to go to format menu, navigate to conditional formatting and click on that. Whereas in Excel 2007 and 10, you could clearly read the word conditional formatting along with its own icon, so you know what it is. So ribbons kind of give more space to various things in this application and clearly spell everything with words like paste, copy, format, merge and center and fill, autosum, like that. So it's quite easy for us to learn what is there in the application without wasting too much time, and all the important things that we commonly use are put together in the home ribbon. Similarly, there are other ribbons too, like insert, page layout, formulas, data, review and view. So you can actually go through various ribbons and understand what is going on. The second thing, the second area of the Excel that you see here, this is called as formula and name box. This white box that goes all the way from FX, that is called as formula bar. If you type any formula in a cell, this is where you would see that. And this little corner here that is showing E10, that is the name box. I will explain the relevance of these things once we finish going through the areas. And of course, the majority of screen real estate is given to the worksheet grid, where you have numbers for row numbers and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H for the columns. So each cell in Excel is having a unique address, meaning if I select this cell, this one, little one here, it will be C6 because it is in the column C and the row number 6, C6, right? So if you want to go one step further, you can say this is sheet 1 C6, meaning this is the cell C6 in the first sheet. but it is quite obvious. If you are already in the sheet 1, you don't have to really explicitly say that, because it is implied. The last thing is this bar, this little area here, that is the status bar. So what I now want to do is, while I'm drawing on the screen, I cannot really use Excel. So I'm going to get rid of these drawings so that I can explain more about each of these things to you, and then we will take it from there. Get rid of the drawings. And now, many of the people who come from Excel 2003 or Office XP or 2000 World, they complain that this ribbon is kind of tedious. It is taking up a lot of space. Maybe 25% of the screen real estate is given to the ribbon. We don't really have to worry about that, because ribbon is there to help you out to learn things that are available in Excel and then use them without trying to discover too many things from the menus. But if you are good with what is out there and you don't really want to have maybe 20% of the screen space given to the ribbon, you can always double click on any of the titles, like insert, home, page layout, like that. Double click. So when you double click, what happens is Excel will collapse the ribbon. And if you double click once again, it will be expanded, right? So if you double click, it's collapsed. If you click on it one time, single click, you will see the ribbon momentarily, but if you finish whatever you want to do from the ribbon, it will be gone again. But if you double click once again, it will come back. So if this double clicking is too difficult to remember, you can always use Control F1, right? Function key F1, which we use commonly for help and things like that. If you hold Control and press that one, the ribbon kind of turns on and off itself. Very useful. In fact, in Office 2010, they even have a button here that looks like an up arrow. If you click on that, the ribbon will kind of collapse and expand. So they even have a button there. Another thing is that if you are seeing here, you can see the save and undo redo buttons. This is called as quick access toolbar, meaning anything that you want to access very quickly, you can put those things there. This little button, this is called as Office button. If you click on that, you can see various file menu options that we are used to seeing in Excel 2003 and other versions, or just any file menu anywhere, like opening a file, creating a new file, saving, printing, and closing the Excel. Okay, what I want to show now is let us say we kind of align everything to center. We like to do this, right? Maybe you are this person who wants to align everything to the center of the cell. So what you can do is you can select this center thing. You can type something here like A, B, C, D, and then select that and press the center button. But since you do this so often, if you are in formula ribbon, you have to come back to home and do it. Really, you don't really have to worry about that, right? What you can do is you can put this button here, so it is available to you always. What we can do is right click on the button, say add to quick access toolbar, and now the button is available there for you. So you can like, okay, so now whenever you have some other content like EFGH in a different cell, all you have to do is select that and click on that button there. So it's very quick way to get the things that you want to do using quick access toolbar. Right. Many of us would like to actually not switch between keyboard and mouse, because when we want to work, we don't want to disrupt our flow by stop what we are doing and go to the mouse so that we can reach something for the ribbon or the menus. Thankfully, what Office 2007 comes with is a beautiful way to access everything that is out there in the ribbon. What you have to do is just select any cell, wherever you are, and hold Alt key down for momentarily, maybe just a couple of seconds. That's it. Even if a second is fine. What you will see is Excel is showing some shortcuts to you. It is telling if you press F now, it will activate the Office button. H now, it will activate the home ribbon. So we can select that cell and press H, and then Excel will show further shortcuts saying that if you press V now, it will paste. If you press X, it will cut. C, copy. FP, format painter. 1, 2, 3 for bold, italic, and underline, like that. So for example, all you have to do is to make a center alignment of a text. You just have to press H and then AC, meaning align center, and that's it. It's aligned for the center. So this is a very, very powerful way to learn shortcuts that are available. For example, if you press L, it will even expand the menu for you so that you can learn further. Of course, now the shortcuts are gone because it thought I'm doing the mouse thing, but that's how it is, right? You can press Alt H and then press L. And now you can see that all these things are highlighted, meaning now you want to create some conditional formatting rules or manage them or set something. So this is a very, very interactive, simple way to learn keyboard shortcuts. You can press escape so that it shows one step back. Press escape, it shows one step back. And then you can switch ribbons to, for example, you can press P to activate page layout ribbon, and then from there you can access everything that you want. So this is a very powerful way to learn things while you are typing the shortcuts. And also use keyboard, don't have to use mouse, because many times while you are typing, if you want to reach out for the mouse or trackpad or anything, kind of takes some commute time for your hand, and you're now lost. Another important thing is when you hold Alt, you would see that for all the things in quick access toolbar, Excel gave default shortcuts of 1 2 3 4 5, like that. If you add one more button, it will be 5. So it is a very easy way to kind of access things that you want very quickly. Apart from this, there are many keyboard shortcuts that we will use throughout Excel school, and you will hear me saying things like control 1, control semicolon, things like that. So just keep your eyes and ears open and see. When you see something interesting that I am doing, you can just copy the shortcuts so that you can reuse them. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to very quickly demonstrate what is in Excel, what are the things that are available in these ribbons and everything else, right? The first thing that I want to show to you is about a GPS system that was built into Excel. It's like a GPS in your car. It tells you where you are, except Excel's GPS is all about telling you where you are in the worksheet. So right now we are selecting cell C6, so you can see C and 6 are highlighted, so that is your way of knowing that you are in C6. Of course, you don't really have to go through all the trouble. You can select any cell, look in the name box in the corner here, and it will tell you where you are. It says you are in I16. Right, so this is a very simple GPS built into Excel to tell you where we are. You can select a bunch of cells, it will tell you where the top left cell is, so that is also quite useful. It's not only a GPS that tells you the position, but it can also take you where you want. So if you are in B9 and you want to go to A500, you can type that here, A500, take me to A500, and Excel will take you there. You can type the A500 and then you can say take me to B339, you will be taken there. So quite smart and intelligent GPS built into Excel. We will learn how to use this GPS to even name the cells, but that is further down the line. For the time being, you have learned what the name box does. It tells you where you are. It can also take you to some other places, right? Now that is quite interesting. What we want to do now is we want to play a little with some of these things here. So for example, we want to create a simple name and age table. We have 4 people, Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, and Mr. D, and we have their ages, maybe 23, 20, 24, 25, 19. And what we want to do is, all our job involves just making tables like this throughout the day. So we want to make one table, we want to nicely format it, and then we repeat the same steps again and again. So we have this table, and what we want to do is we may want to maybe select the titles and make them bold. We made them bold, and then we also want to put some fill color there so they look nice. We want to align the edges in the middle, and now we may want to apply some border around it so they kind of look nice. So now that we have done all these, what we want to do is our job involves making similar tables. So I make one more table here, name, age, and this time we have this here. And they are like just 2 years younger to the counterparts. Okay, and then we want to do the same formatting steps again, but we hate doing these things. Like, we don't want to repeat our things. What we can do is just select these cells, click on this format painter, and select the other one completely. Instantly the data remains whatever it is. Only thing is the formats are copied from here to here. So that is your guy, format painter. What it does is copy formatting. You can read it now. Copy formatting from one place and apply it to another. This is a very handy shortcut. But what if we have more of similar data? What I want to do is I don't want to type more, so I'm going to select this and come here and paste it as values. So down arrow here and then say paste values. Down arrow here, paste values. Down arrow here, paste values. So now we have 3 different data sets, and I want to make sure the formatting looks similar for everything. Of course, I can select this, click on format painter, do it. But now again I have to click on the format painter once again. Of course you don't have to. What you can do is, instead of clicking on format painter, You can double click on format painter and now the mode is locked. So you can actually keep on doing this for some time and Excel will gladly apply the formatting. And when you are done, press escape and that's it. The format painter mode is gone now. So double clicking is your way of locking things. It can be used while making some shapes or things like that. So now that we have done all this, let us call this, rename this sheet from sheet 1, saying my names like that. Right now this is having my names. Let us go to a blank sheet and play a little more. I'm sure many of you would know what these things are, so I don't want to bore you with those details. But I want to show a little more surprising smart features that are available in Excel. For example, you can go to insert and you can insert a lot of funny things, but one of the common things that people always ask is how do you put together some nice process diagrams or organization charts, things like that. So click on smart art and from here select hierarchy and select an organization chart like that. Instantly you can create some nice organization charts like CEO, executive secretary and marketing head, operations head. So we can have, and if you want one more level you can press enter and then tab, so it kind of goes inside and then you can add people like that. Like that, right? So instantly we have created a simple organization chart in Excel and to keep track of things that are going on. You can do a lot of things. For example, you can insert other types of smart charts like relationships, lists, processes, matrix, pyramids, everything. Remember, these things are all available in PowerPoint and Word too, so you can use them from those softwares which are probably more appropriate for things like this. Similarly, the holding Alt key and then accessing ribbon features, that is also common in all Office 2007 software, so you can kind of use it to save time anywhere, whether you are using Word or PowerPoint. Now that we have this here, let us rename this sheet. To rename, just double click on the sheet and then say my org chart. So we have two sheets and we really like this, what we are doing so far. So what we want to do is, our job or anybody who uses these workbooks, they just go to this and this, this and this. This is what they are doing. So we want to save some time for those people. And what we want to do is we want to type here saying, click here to see org chart. Just like a web page, if they click here, they will come here. And then here we want to do like back to names list. Again, you can very simply insert a link. You can select the cell, click on hyperlink from insert ribbon hyperlink. And then what do we want to do? We want to go to a different place in the same workbook. So we select this place in this workbook. We want to link to a place in this workbook. And from here, we need to jump to organization chart. So we'll select take me to my organization chart, cell A1. Press OK. And now if you click there, you will jump to that sheet. So again, click here. And this time we just say put me back to my name list. So if you click here, you'll go there. If you click here, you'll come here. This is nice, right? So let us say this names list is kind of growing and we are adding many more people. So we now have 500 names or something like that. And while we are here, we would like to jump down. So you can also do that. You can come here and then say go to bottom and then select that cell, insert hyperlink. If you find yourself inserting hyperlink often, you can also press Ctrl K and then say take me to A500 like that. So you will remain in the same sheet, but you are just asking Excel to take you to A500, and when you click, Excel will take you to that cell. Pretty simple, right? Here you can also say go to top, but it will be more interesting if we can put a symbol here. So let us put an up arrow symbol like that. Up arrow symbol. We'll just resize it so it kind of looks nice. And then we want users to click on this and they will jump there. So you can select the shape, press Ctrl K and then say when clicked, just take him to A1. So now this shape is clickable. If you click on that, it will go there. Similarly, you can also put a down arrow or put a symbol of image of your cat or anything is possible, your company logo. So if you have a dozen customers and you have their logos, you can put all their logos here, and upon clicking you can take them to the relevant worksheet where that customer's information is maintained. So that is how you can use this hyperlink functionality from insert ribbon. Many times we ask ourselves the question, how do I put the symbols, like how do I put euro symbol, or how do I put that particular strange arrow symbol? Very simple. You can select any cell, say insert symbol, from insert symbol, and then from here you can select. Usually it may be in different fonts or something, but select it to normal text. So if you want currency symbols, basically it will be like this for you when you open. If you want to see currency symbol, just scroll down all the way until you see currency symbols and select that. And from here you can insert a lot of different symbols. So you can say insert euro symbol, insert pound, like that. You can also try some others. For example, there are some arrows. So you can say, put up arrow or like that. So all those symbols will nicely come in here. Remember, if you change the font, right now we are in Calibri 11 points, but if I change this to some other font, those symbols may not work properly. For some fonts, those symbols may not have been defined. So you want to be a little careful when you are doing that, right? So far so good. We have typed some names, and now our boss comes and asks, this is all fine, but I want to see names in rows, sorry, names in columns and ages in the columns, like this: name A, B, C, D, age, and then 23, 24, 25, 19, like that. So how do we do it? Do we type the data again? Do we do something with it? No. Very simple, right? We can select the data, copy, come to an empty area, select paste, and then say transpose. Basically, you are asking Excel, while copying, just transpose it. So Excel will nicely transpose everything for you. Maybe the alignment is kind of messed up, but everything else is nice, right? So this is what paste transpose does. It kind of takes numbers and transposes. Many times what we do is we have created this name list and we want to copy it. Like here in this case, we have created this and we are making copies of it. So to show you an effective way to copy, first I would like to get rid of everything. So I'm going to select these, come to this clear from home. It looks like an eraser. That's what it does. Clear all. Now everything that we have done here, the formatting, the values, everything is done, gone. If you just want to clear the formats alone, you can select this. Instead of clear all, say clear formats. So only formatting will be gone. Now what do we want is, we want to select this and make a copy of it. When you select, you will see that if you select a bunch of cells, Excel will show a thick black border around them. So here the black border is there. Only thing is, since we applied the dark color border also, cell border, kind of doesn't appear properly. But if you place your mouse on the edges, you will see the mouse pointer changes to double arrows like that. If I move it outside, it will not be. But if I so while it is there, you can hold the control key and drag. Right? You are now making copies. This is called control and drag. Right? It will only work if you are placing the mouse on the corner. So you want to be a little careful. So control drag, while control drag actually creates copies, if you can just place the mouse there and drag, it will move the data. Many times what we do is, to move the data, we just press Control X and then Control V, meaning we are cutting here and pasting there. Whereas to make copies, we use Control C and Control V. While both these techniques work very well and also save a lot of time, using mouse to do this could be much more easier and simple to do, because many times our hand is on the mouse and we don't really want to jump to keyboard to do these things. So that's how you can do this. The same technique works for charts or anything. In fact, control drag works in many Windows programs too. If you are watching a folder or something, you can, for example, control drag, and that will be you will get a copy of that. So what else we can see? Let us see. Now that we have our names and organization chart, we want to also type some details about, let us say, maybe some invoices. So we'll say our invoices here. And then what we have is invoice date, amount due. Very simple system. We don't even have invoice numbers, which is funny to begin with, but let us start slow. So we have some invoice dates and amount due. And what I want to do is, I want to set up some invoice dates for our testing purpose. So for example, you start today. You can come to an empty cell and press Control semicolon, and you will get the current date. It's hard-coded date, meaning that whatever you see is what it will be even if you open tomorrow. Whereas if you come to a cell and type today equal to today, you will see that date 1st of February 2011. But if you open this workbook tomorrow, you might see 2nd of February, or depending on whenever you're watching, that date changes, but the original one doesn't. So we have that date, and what I want to do is, here also I want to show the same date, but instead of first, I want to make it second. So we are sending like invoices every day, and we will send some more, third, fourth, fifth, like that. So now the 2 dates are there. You don't really have to fill 3, 4 and anything. Select first 2 and place your mouse at the bottom when it changes to a plus sign, and then drag. You're now telling Excel, please autofill the dates for me. I don't want to type them myself. So when you do this, you can see that Excel automatically puts the dates. In fact, it is pretty smart because it figured that in February there are only 28 days, so it moved to March. Then it continues its journey. So this is what autofill does. The same thing can be true for numbers also. If you type 10 and 20 and then select both and then drag, Excel will nicely increment the values by 10 each. In fact, we don't even have to drag the next time because the first column has this many dates. If you select first 2 cells and come to the bottom right corner when the mouse pointer changes to plus sign, and if you double click, Excel will automatically fill all the way down until there are values in the adjacent column. So this method works for adjacent column, meaning B or D only. If adjacent columns are blank, Excel wouldn't know how far to fill, so it will just stop there. So that is how you can use some kind of autofill techniques to save time and do things faster. You can type dates, numbers, or you can even have formulas, and they will also nicely adjust, as you will see in the formula lessons. So that is what we have now. We have my names, organization chart, and invoice, and we have typed some invoices. Some of you may feel that this date, while it is okay from entering point of view, it's kind of difficult to read, isn't it? I mean, for people, those of you from Southern Asia or some of the different countries where the date systems change, it is not clear whether it is 2nd of January or it's 1st of February. So it may be better if you format it this differently. You can select the dates, and then you can see that Excel has recognized that as a date. You can down arrow here from this and then set it to long date. So now Excel will show the date in a long format, but here we are seeing a bunch of hashes, meaning the text that we are trying to show, the date, is too long to fit in the cell. So what we can do is select entire B column and then double click here, double click between B and C. Now the column width will be automatically adjusted so that you can see the month, week, day and date clearly. Now that the formatting is applied to that one, you can apply the same formatting to other dates. Select everything, apply long date format, or you can also use the format painter. We'll just do this. So now it's better, isn't it? So we have some dates and amount due. These are our invoices. You will learn in Excel school that how to use various pasting options, how to set up conditional formatting, how to use some of these things in the formatting lessons. For example, you could even highlight all the invoices that are not in February, that is not in the current month, or you can highlight all the invoices in February alone, like that. Those kind of things are called as conditional formatting, meaning change formatting based on a condition. So again, this you will learn in Excel school's conditional formatting lessons, so we don't want to waste much time here. But I want to bring your attention to something funny. So if I select one date, I am seeing nothing, but if I select 4 dates, what you will see here is the average date, which seems to be okay, right? 1st of February to 5th of February, so average is 3rd. Count of dates, which is 5, so we have 5 dates. But you will also see sum of dates, meaning June 23, 2455. It doesn't make any sense. What is it trying to say us? That is because in Excel's mind, even though we are typing these are dates, from Excel point of view, everything is just a number. To prove the point, let me come to an empty cell, type 1 there. This is just number 1, right? If I select that and ask Excel to show it as a date, Excel will tell me that the number 1 corresponds to 1st of January 1900. So that seems to be the very first date Excel has come up with. Let us see what happens if we type 0. Right, if I type 0 and select that and format it as date, now I am seeing it as 10/1900. That means it is 0th of January 1900. That doesn't make any sense either. Obviously, first number 1 corresponds to 1/1900. I would expect that 0 will be 31st of December 1899. but that's not the case. From Excel point of view, all the dates starts only from 1st of January 1900. You cannot have dates prior to that in Excel without using some advanced software. So if I type -1 and ask Excel to format this as a date, Excel will tell me that I cannot do anything. I don't really understand what you're saying. So it just shows a bunch of hashes, meaning I don't get it. So let us do a bit more. If I type semicolon in a cell, I will get today's date, and then now you select the cell, and then instead of showing it as date, if you select number, you will see that today's date corresponds to 40,575, meaning we have spent 40,575 days since 1st of January 1900. That's what Excel is telling you. So as you can see, each date is one number in Excel's mind. Today is 40,575. If you go to the next cell and type equal to +1, you will get the next number, and from that number, if I select and format it as date, I will see that it corresponds to 2nd of February 2011. Also set it long date, so it shows the weekday, everything. So that is what it is. Each date is one number. The minimum date that you can have is 1st of January 1900. What about a maximum date? Again, you can come to a cell, type 31 December 1999. So, and select the cell and then format it as number. You will see that that corresponds to 29 lakhs 2.9,058,465. So that is what 31st of December 2019, 9,999. If I come to next cell and type equal to +1, now if I select that and ask Excel to put it as date, Excel wouldn't show me the date corresponding to it, because again that is the last date. 31st of December 9,999 is the last date in Excel's mind. So in the Excel world, all the dates are just numbers, and the minimum number or minimum date you can have is 1st of January 1900. Maximum number you can have is 31st of December 1999. And each date is one number in the whole sequence. So if you have a date like this, 2nd of February 2011 in a cell, and you want to find out what date it would be 30 days hence, all you have to do is go to a different cell, type this +30, and you will know that the 30 days hence will be Friday, March 04, 2011. Similarly, if you have a date like this, you can also find out what would be the date 15 days prior by just subtracting 15. So this is how you can use some simple arithmetic like plus, minus, and things like that. Naturally, if each day is one number, then each hour will be 1 by 24, isn't it? So if you have a date like this and you want to add 33 hours to it, all you have to do is go there plus 33 by 24, and you will get the 33 hour. Of course, here we are only showing dates, but if I select time format, I will know that that will be 9 AM. Or I can select the cell, press Ctrl+1, and from here I can set the formatting so that both date and time can be shown. At a time, either date or time are coming, but if I go to custom and type the format code like this, DMMYYYHHMMSS, right? If I do that, you will see that I can see 3rd of February 2011, 9 AM. That's what it will be. That's what I get here. You will learn more about these formatting things in the formatting lesson, so I'm not going to elaborate that now. The other things that we can do is you can insert charts, which will be told to you in the charting lessons. You can insert tables and pivot tables, which will come in the tables and pivot table lessons of Excel School. And then you can also format. For example, we have now that we got our names list, we would like to print this nicely. So you can come to this, click on this little big thing, it's called Office button, and then go to Print Preview. From here you can see the preview of how it will look like when it will be printed, and you can see name, age, but only name. If you go to next page, it's a lot of blank text. Next page. Remember, I'll just close this here because it's going all the way to next page, because there's something at the bottom. All the way at the bottom we have this arrow, so it's better we can remove that because we don't really need anything at the bottom. That way we can see what does it look like when you print it. And print preview. And now I can see next page will show me the age. So previous page is showing name and next page is showing age. It's kind of breaking everything that we have built, because even though all the names are here, we are not seeing them on one page. They are not coherent anymore. But you can fix that. For example, you can tell Excel from page layout menu, instead of putting width and height to automatic, you can just say print everything in one page like that. Width should be one page, height should be one page. And now if I go to print preview, I can see that everything is nicely coming into one page like that. If you click on the page setup here, you can do a little more things. For example, you can say print it on landscape like that, and now Excel will print the page on a landscape format. You can go to margins and you can tell Excel print it so that content is centered horizontally or vertically on the page, meaning it will look like this in the middle nicely. You can also do a lot more things, but just go ahead and play with these options so you will know what is what. You cannot set these things from here. You have to do them from the not from print preview, but from the worksheet options, through like these things to set them. You have to close print preview and you can now set them here. So that is what it is for printing. There are a lot of formulas available in Excel. Again, you will learn about these things in the formula lessons, so nothing to explore them here. We will just go through them slowly. There are a lot of things possible once you have the data. Like you can get the data from external sources, which will be available in Excel school in the external data sources lessons. You can sort, filter all the data in any which way you want, again explained in the sorting and filtering lessons. And there are a lot of useful functions. For example, we have typed these invoices, and it's better to insert a new column here next to it. You can insert by right clicking. So we have some invoice number, right, INV001. Then I'll just drag it so Excel will fill these things for me. Now what happened is, by mistake we had some duplicate invoices. These were not supposed to be here, but since the person who is creating the invoices, they made a mistake. So we have a bunch of duplicate invoices and we would like to get rid of them, right? This is what we want to do. We don't want to live with duplicate data because it's erroneous. So what you can do is you can manually scan this list, see where there are duplicates, like 9 is duplicate, 17 is a duplicate, and something else. There are a lot of duplicates here. So you can fix them like that, but that's time consuming. What you can do is you can select these invoice numbers like that. Come to data, remove duplicates. Since the duplicates are only in the invoice column, we just select that. Other two are not duplicates, and then press OK. Excel will nicely remove the duplicates and all the associated rows, columns, and then it will tell you the 4 duplicates found and removed and 26 values remain. So this is how you can clean your data from the data ribbon. You will also learn about data validation and some of the other options slowly in the other lessons in Excel school. For example, this particular invoice, I want to put some attention to it, like tell my manager or somebody who is sending the invoices that this should be sent in triplicate. You have to send 3 copies of the invoice to the customer because their legal department requires it, or something like that. So I can insert a comment here, select the cell, press insert comment, and your name will be shown, or whatever user ID you are using for Excel will be shown. You say send in duplicate, right? So whenever you point the mouse on that, you will see that. So that is what a comment is. Whenever you add a comment to a cell, you will see a red color triangle at the corner indicating there is some additional information, and when you place the mouse over, you will see that. You can see all the comments by using this option from review, show all comments. You can also insert a comment by selecting a cell and pressing Shift F2. Shift F2. So this is a very quick way to insert them. And then there are a lot of things from the view. One of the things that we did is we created a table here, nicely formatted, but these grid lines are drawing too much attention. So you can turn them off by coming to view and then say don't show me the grid lines. Only the data will be shown, and if you apply any borders, those will be shown. Similarly, you can also turn off other things. For example, you can say don't show the formula bar. That bar is gone now, including your GPS thing. And if you can also disable headings, so now it looks like a blank canvas. Now I don't really recommend these because they kind of scare people and you will start worrying what happened to everything. So it's better to keep headings and formula bars. But grid lines is something that I usually turn off, and you will learn why as you move along with formatting and charting lessons. Some of the other interesting things in Excel are, for example, we have now 30 invoices, and if I scroll down a bit, I can see invoice title, number, name, date, and amount. But because I have created this data, I know what each columns mean. But if somebody new is coming, they wouldn't know what is what. They wouldn't know whether this is invoice send date or due date or whatever. So it is better to freeze this information on the top. So no matter where you are scrolling, you can always see that. For that, what you can do is click on row number 3 and then tell to Excel from view ribbon, freeze panes, freeze panes. What happens is Excel would freeze everything above row number 3. So first and second rows are frozen. Now as you scroll, you will see those things always on the top. Let me unfreeze so I can show you a few more tricks. For example, here we have only 3 columns, but if you have maybe 13 different columns about invoices, which is the case in real life, you can select this cell and then come to freeze panes, freeze panes. Now what happens is not only the first 2 rows are frozen, but also the first 2 columns, because we placed our mouse cell here, meaning C3. Now Excel will freeze anything above 3 and left to C. So if I scroll like this, I will still see the invoice numbers, and if I scroll down, I will still see the title. So this kind of freezing is quite useful, and you will see that I have frozen a lot of content on all the downloadable examples in Excel School, because freezing keeps important things in invisibility. These are the standard ribbons, but there are some advanced ribbons too. One is called as developer ribbon, where we can use some of the developer options like recording macros and inserting form controls and other things. And you will learn how to enable developer ribbon as you come across examples that would require that ribbon. So that, I hope, has given you some good overview of what is there in Excel. We did not cover a lot of things. For example, if I select these cells, you will see some quick summary statistics here, but we did not cover those things. But I hope I have given you enough material and showed you some tricks using which you can start using Excel better and then move with other lessons in Excel School. Before leaving, I would like to leave you with a few more tips. One of the things that we commonly see is we have a lot of data and we are making a presentation. What we want to do is we want to put only this much data in focus, only those things we want to show in focus, nothing else. So what we can do is we can select all this, go to view, and then zoom to selection, this button. When you click on that, Excel will zoom everything to such a large extent until these things are only visible. Everything else is also there. The problem is they are just kind of beyond the scroll area. So this zoom to selection is quite often useful when you have a lot of data or when you have too little data and you can zoom it. But this will also zoom the row numbers and column numbers. That's a different thing. And then you can restore to 100%. So that is what a zoom to selection does. It kind of brings those things that you want to see into focus. Okay. So I hope you have learned a few things, as I said earlier. And it was my mistake that I did not have an introduction lesson saying Excel overview or something like that. But now that I have this lesson recorded, I will make sure that this is the first lesson everybody gets when they join Excel School. So they kind of have some time to go through all the things that are available and play with them. Before we close the class, we must save the file. So you click on the save file and then point it to your location. I'm just going to put it somewhere like in the Excel School folder. Okay, we'll call it as our first workbook. From here you can see a lot of options. We can leave it to Excel workbook, or if it is pointing to Excel 97 2003, you can leave it to that also. But if you scroll down a bit, you will see that there is an option for PDF as well. Maybe outside the screen area, but you can save the files as PDF so you can export them. Okay, you can add some additional information, but whatever you are seeing is just fine. Save it. So now we have saved our very first file, and we have learned a couple of interesting things in Excel using which you can learn a little more. I encourage you to go through all the lessons in the same order that I've suggested in the lesson plan, because that is the most effective way to learn things one by one and also get maximum mileage out of Excel School's core material. If you have any questions, please drop a comment. If you have some suggestions also, I would like to hear them, because I'm always looking for opportunity to improve the course material and make you much more awesome. Thank you very much for your time, and you have a great day ahead. Bye bye.